Cheers, beautiful people. Welcome back to Aged in Oak, or welcome if this is your first time. My name is John, and we're going to do another blind here. Last video I did, it was a 1792 blind for a friend named Gavin. This time, this is a blind of samples that was sent to me by a wonderful gentleman by the name of Nick LaPadula. He is also a subscriber to the channel, and I thank you very much, Nick, for what's in the glasses in front of me here. I know what's in the glasses. I don't know which glasses has which. What I do know is I do know the pours. There is a Redwood Empire pour in here. That is the Emerald Giant cast strength at 116.4 proof. There's a Hemingway Rye that comes in at 102 proof. Short Barrel Cigar Batch number 3, which comes in at 114 proof. Kings County Straight Bourbon at 94 proof. And the Balcones True Blue cast strength single barrel pick from Lucan's Wine and Spirits, which chimes in at, let me see here, 127.6 proof. So I might as well be double blind here because I have never had any of this stuff. This will be the first time for me trying any of these. That's what's fun about sharing samples. And I sent him a few things. He sent me a few things. And I thought it'd be cool to do them here in this blind and see what I like. So we're going to start here. We're going to go this way, and I will rearrange them at the end of this and put them in order, and we'll find out what's in each glass. Before I get started on this, we're going to try something new and hopefully fun. I'm going to do a sample giveaway. So the sample that we're going to give away, I'm going to give away a 2-ounce sample of the new Old Fitzgerald Bottled in Bond 7-year. So all you got to do is at the end of the video, there's going to be a question, and the answer to that question I will give sometime during the course of this video. If you get the answer to this, just send me an email at agedinoakjohn@gmail.com. I'll put that across the bottom of the screen when I go to edit, and we'll have that open for a few let's have it until Friday. And on Friday, I will take all the correct answers and I'll put them in a wheel. I will spin, and whoever wins, I'll send you a sample of this Old Fitz 7. Without further ado, let's get going on this. So, first glass, the Castle and Key Glen. I don't really. I mean, I get a little ethanol. I mean, it's not enough to sting, but I mean, that's what I get. I get a little bit of sweet. I get a little bit of spice, like maybe from the rye. Wow, that's got a little bit of heat, which I don't mind. I kind of like high proof pours. If you watch the last one, it was actually my favorite of all of them. There's kind of a drying. Maybe this is going to sound weird, but it's a little cardboardy. But I don't necessarily know that that's a bad cardboardy, if that can be said. I don't know. I'm going to try that again. Okay, it doesn't start out too sweet. I kind of prefer the ones that start a little sweeter, but it doesn't mean I don't like it. Wow, it's really interesting. Right now, I mean, I know I have bourbons in here, and I know I have ryes in here, and I really can't place that one right now. It's I mean, I don't dislike it. I don't know it would be a one I would go to on a regular basis, but that's unique. All right, let's get a little bit of a rinse before I go into the second glass. All right, second glass, the Wilderness Trail glass. Okay. I don't know. Maybe my nose just isn't working today, but I'm not picking up a whole lot on either of these. But I've made it pretty. I've made it pretty clear that I'm not exactly an expert at this. So we'll see what we got. I will say I do like the nose on this one more than I do on the first one. Oh wow! So that's got a little bit more of a sweeter start to me, but this one kind of comes off. I mean, not really. It's kind of weird to say, but it comes off a little chemically. Um, and who knows? My taster might just be off tonight. But let me try that again. Okay, it's not so much chemically, but there's a just past the front of the palate. There's a little bit of a flavor that I don't necessarily know that I do or don't like. It's just different. I've never come across that flavor in a whiskey before. I don't I don't necessarily dislike it though. It's just different. Something I haven't had before. Um, I kind of like it more than I do the first one. Okay, so let's get another rinse and we'll go on to number three. All right, in the Evan Williams glass. Oh, now that's a nice nose. It's lightly sweet, but it does smell like it has the slightest little, I mean, so light. Um, kind of a mint. It's really light mint, like maybe not really spearmint, but maybe slightly peppermint. Um, maybe a little herbal, which I mean, those notes tend to make you think rye. Let's see what we got. Mm. Oh wow, that I like. Wow, that's there's a little bit of. I mean, there's a little bit of caramel on that, but it's a. I don't know. It might be maybe a little darker than caramel. I can't really place it, but this is definitely leading the pack right now. Yeah, I have to say this one, then this one, then this one, and not necessarily because I didn't like this one, but it's just of the three, this one is the one I'm liking the least right now. I don't dislike it by any means. Okay, let's go on to number four after a little bit of a little rinse. Okay, the Heaven Hill glass. Hmm. Okay, I'm getting a little bit. I mean, it's lightly sweet again. It's not really like it doesn't really have a fruit or anything on it to at least to my nose. Uh, but it kind of smells a little sugary. Okay, this one's a little savory. Um, I don't get that a whole lot in my bourbon. When I do, I like it. I don't necessarily know that I like it more than this one, but so far of the four, I haven't talked about finish so far because of the first three, I'm not getting a whole lot of finish, but I'm getting finish on this guy, and I like the finish. It's a little bit drying. If you know me, I kind of like that. Um, maybe I mean, I definitely get the oak. Um, get a little bit, maybe slightly leather on it, which seems like an odd note to have on a whiskey, but it's a really good note, at least in my opinion. Um, wow, that's yeah, that's good. Like I said, don't know if I like it more than this one, but we'll see. Okay, on to the last one, the Michter's glass. Oh, okay. Now this one actually gives me a little bit on the nose. I'm getting rye spice, but it's like if you sprinkled a little bit of baking spices on top of a like maybe on top of a maybe a sugar cookie. I do like the nose on this one. That one brings some heat. I'm not sure I was ready for that one. Mm. Very. The other flavors in there, they're there. They it kind of starts a little sweet, but really fast, it's overtaken by the heat. A little bit of a hug. The hug didn't last very long. It only went about to here, um, but the heat of the pour took over. Um, and then all I get is just oak, which I do kind of like. All right, so let's. We went through them this way. Let me get a good rinse. We'll go through them back the other way, and I'll see if I can get you a ranking. So I do it this way, and I think a lot of people do it this way because when you start here, you kind of give a like a benchmark for the rest of the thing, and everything that you're drinking kind of compares to the one before. So if I rinse and I start back this way, it makes it a little bit more balanced. Um, and I mean, I didn't necessarily line these. I mean, I don't know what these are. I mean, I know what they are, but I don't know which glass they're in. So I don't know if they're in order of proof. If there was a higher proof one before a lower proof one, sometimes that can throw you off a little bit. So let's try going back the other way. When there's a bunch of different proofs here, which looks like, let's see, 116, 102, 114, 94. See, it drops it down to 94, and then there's one that's almost 130. So based on how they are there, sometimes that can throw you off. And if you have a lower proof one after a higher proof one, it'll taste a little weak, a little bland, and you won't get as much off of it. So if I go back the other way, that should fix it. If I was doing a blind with two of really close proof, then that wouldn't be a problem. You could just go boom, boom, and be done. Like pretty soon, I am going to put up a blind between George T. Stagg 2023, which is 135 proof, and my bottle back here of Jack Daniel's single barrel proof that comes in at 133.4. So those are real close. So those, I'm not going to have to go back and forth a lot between those because the proofs are real close and not really going to throw the other one off. All right, so let's start with the Michter's. Mm. Well, I definitely think that one is the highest proof of the five, but I do really like that. I like the way it finishes, kind of dry, woody. I get a little bit, it's the slightest little bit of tobacco. I get some leather on it. I really like the ones that finish like that. I would have to say that even though I like this one might be in the lead right now. So let's go back to the Heaven Hill glass here. All right. Hmm. Now, I don't remember that one starting as sweet. And like I said, it could have been the order I was going in. something that was left on the palate here might have affected this. It does start a little sweeter. I do like it. I like everything that's on the table. There's nothing that made me say, oh, I don't want this. This is nasty. Which is awesome because had no clue. I never had these before. And I picked from some things that Nick had. And I think I lucked out. This is pretty good stuff. Okay. So as of right now, I would say that I like this one more than I like this one. So let's put this one here and this one here. All right. Okay, back to the Evan Williams glass. Now see that mint is even more pronounced that time. Which I don't mind. I'm not a big mint fan, but if it's in there, just kind of in the back, saying hello, I'm here. I'm not pushing the fact, but I'm back here. I'm just adding a little bit of something different to your pour. I kind of like that. Okay, so I would have to say that for that, let's see. Let's put you right there in the middle. Okay, that different flavor that I mentioned on that the first time around, it's coming through on the nose now. Like I said, I don't necessarily dislike it, but let's see how it does tasting it this time around. Wow. Okay, I would have to say, I said that was different, and I said I didn't know if I liked it or I didn't like it. Let's say 70-30. I think it's gonna be one of those things that kind of depends on what day it is. Today it's kind of hitting me like right there on that 70-30 thing. It's like I kind of like it, I kind of don't. Maybe I think I would call this a mood pour. And I guess I'm just going to have to, try it, when I figure out what this is. Because I think I do want a bottle of this at some point. It's going to be one of those things where I'm just going to have to try it and say, okay, it's working for me tonight. It's not working for me tonight. So I'm going to put him... Now, because he's 70-30, I'm going to put him back here. Like I said, I don't dislike it. But I just don't know if it's hitting me where I want it to hit me today. Let's go back into our first glass, which is the Castle and Key. Now, going last this time, it does hit me a little different. It's a hard call. This is one of those bottles, I think, if I had to guess, I would say I would probably not go out and get. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it enough to get a bottle. So based on that, I'm going to put that in last place. So I think what we got here is this order right here. So I'm going to enlist the help of my wonderful assistant, my beautiful wife, Desiree. And I'm going to let her know the glass, and she's going to let me know the pour, and let's see how we did. Last place. Like I said, not my thing tonight. Like I said, probably won't buy myself a bottle of this. I'm definitely going to enjoy the sample that the wonderful Nick Lapadula sent to me. Thanks again, Nick. You're awesome. hope you. I know that from watching the Discord, I know that you enjoyed a lot of the pours. It was really neat to see which ones you liked better. When you're down to do some more trading, just let me know because I'll hook you up. I'm eager to see the kind of stuff that you've got that maybe I can try. Okay, last place is the Castle and Key glass. What is in the Castle and Key glass?
The Redwood Empire.
Really? Oh my goodness. This is really surprising because I like Redwood Empire, and that's interesting. I haven't had this one before. Probably won't be one that I kind of stay away from. So the last place is let me get this here so I read it right to you. It is the Redwood Empire Emerald Giant cast strength, coming in at 116.4. So yeah, so it's just not doing it for me. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it enough to get my own bottle. All right, so in fourth place, the Wilderness Trail glass.
Kings County.
That is the Kings County Straight Bourbon. I've never had anything from Kings County. It wasn't my favorite by any means. If I got a bottle, I wouldn't regret getting a bottle. I would enjoy it during the time. Probably wouldn't get another, but I would definitely enjoy it for the time that I had it. All right, number 3 is in the Heaven Hill glass. What's in the Heaven Hill glass?
Heaven Hill is short barrel.
Really? I really thought that the cigar batch would come in better than that. This is the short barrel cigar batch number 3 at 114 proof. That's surprising. I tend to like cigar batches, and I didn't dislike it. I just didn't like it as much as the other ones. This is kind of interesting because I've heard. Let me be fair. I've got a few different Texas whiskeys, and Balcones is a Texas whiskey. And Balcones, honestly, it gets a little bit of hate. But the different Texas things that I've got some Iron Root back here. I've got some Still Austin. I've got some Garrison Brothers, and I really like it. So I must be wired for Texas whiskey. So it's interesting that the Texas whiskey is either in this one or in this one. Wow, that really surprised me with the short barrel. All right, in second place, the Evan Williams glass.
Hemingway.
Interesting. Okay. I think I'm more of a rye guy, but lately for me personally at home, the higher proof bourbons have been doing better than the ryes. And that's surprising for me because I kind of like that. Ryes tend to be a little bit less sweet, at least kind of on the finish. And that's kind of something that I really like. But I've wondered about the Hemingway for a while, and I've thought about looking for one. They're really hard to find where I'm at. But considering this came in second place, I would definitely be down for getting a bottle of this. All right, so that means that in the Michters, we have, this is crazy because like I said, Balcones gets a lot of hate. The number 1, and forgive me for saying this, but it just plays out again. I'm a little bit of a proof hound. This is the highest proof. This is the Balcones True Blue cast strength single barrel. It's a pick from Lucan's Wine and Spirits, and it comes in at 127.6. Wow. I've heard a lot of people say they're not big Texas whiskey fans, but apparently I am. So this is really, really cool. So, hey, if you're out there and you have Texas whiskey and you don't like it, hey, I'll take it. I'll be happy to take it because apparently I really like Texas whiskey, and it doesn't really seem to matter which one it is. So, wow, this was really enlightening. I was really expecting, because of all the hate that I've heard about Balcones. I was really expecting to not like this, and it blows my mind that I do. All right, so this was fun. At least it was for me. I hope it was for you. Um, yeah. So let's get to this. The giveaway. So the question for the giveaway is: I mentioned that I'm going to be doing a blind between George T. Stagg and Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof. What was the proof that I said for my Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof? Send that answer to agedinoakjohn@gmail.com, and we'll give this until Friday. And on Friday, I'll throw up a short on YouTube, and I will let you know. I will put the spinner on the screen, and we will find out who won this sample. So until next time, yeah, Texas whiskey, guys. Who knew? Yeah. So until next time, I'm John. This is Aged in Oak. Cheers, my friends.